Shalom, shalom. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule well. And shalom to sincere, hopeful, elect brothers and sisters. And to you, hopeful, elect brothers, preaching and teaching the truth through the four corners of earth. Brother Nathan Khan at GMS Indianapolis. I just want to hit this quick article. This from ZeroHedge.com. The title reads, First U.S. Abrams tanks arrive in Ukraine. Officials admit they risk being destroyed. All right. It says Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed reception of the first delivery of the U.S. Abrams battle tanks. After President Biden last week made it clear they would finally arrive within days of his meeting with Zelensky at the White House. Good news from Minister of Defense Umerov. Abrams are already in Ukraine and are being prepared to reinforce our brigades. Zelensky announced on Telegram his hope is that it will boost Ukrainian forces amid the stalled offensive. As U.S. officials have said, the arrival was months ahead of estimates and in time to be used in Ukraine's counteroffensive against Russia. See, with all these, this whole, well, the U.S. isn't technically getting involved. They're just giving them equipment. But yeah, that's being involved, man. See, these are this is what's ushering in World War III. You know what I mean? This is all part of Yahweh Shemel Shah's plan, man. These Abrams tanks are some of the top of the line of of America's army, man. So this ain't no light matter, So this is something, Putin and Russia there, hey, they're gonna want to, be on the defensive, of course. But see, now this is the turn to a counteroffensive where Ukraine is trying to gain back land But like I said, this is all the, the beginnings of sorrows and the beginning of wars and rumors of wars, of World War III itself, man. This is all plays a part. So this is major news, This is a group of Ukrainian tank operators and their support crew reportedly wrapped up training by late August, and it's believed that a likely 10 of the 31 Abrams committed have now been delivered as of Saturday. Two U.S. officials explained to the New York Times more M1 Abrams tanks will be sent in the coming months, the official said, noting that those that were shipped into Ukraine on Saturday represented the first of 31 that the Biden administration has promised to send. The officials will not say how many have been delivered so far. The Abrams will be among other tanks in Ukraine's arsenal that it could use to push into and possibly reclaim Russian-held territory in Ukraine's eastern and southern regions, where fighting has ground on for months without major breakthroughs. But Krylo Budanov, the head of Ukraine's military intelligence, has warned that the Abrams would need to be deployed in a very tailored way for very specific, well-crafted operations or risk being destroyed. And see, that's another thing, too. This World War III is not going to totally escalate until, the MOT to the B, to the potato chip, is forced on the scene, to where you can't buy or sell unless you have that mark. Okay, so that's why this thing, it seems like it's quote-unquote stalling, per se, but no, this is just the build-up, and all the pieces are being moved and set up for this World War III, okay? It says, indeed, Moscow has declared open season on Western-supplied tanks and equipment. See, Russia's already on the offensive when it comes to the U.S.'s equipment. Like, nah, we're going to destroy that. You ain't about to keep supplying stuff and they just going to use it. Nah, we're going to destroy it. It has already had battlefield successes in destroying some of them. For example, the UK Challenger 2 and Germany's Leopard had thus far made little discernible difference along the stalemated front lines. At least one or more UK Challengers were destroyed. It was confirmed earlier this month. This was a first for the Challenger 2 in its history of production, as British defense officials later conceded. This Edomite on Edomite destruction. Hey, see, they were getting tested because Esau was blessed with the sword. So when you got Esau against Esau, man, they're bringing out all the stops. So now, what? These tanks that are used to never being destroyed are getting destroyed because what? You got Esau using blessing against blessing, man. So hey, he set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right. So that's why this is what's going on, man. So you got the best of the best when it comes to military prowess. Why? Fighting each other, man, and destroying each other. All part of whose plan? Yahweh Shemel Shaz. It says there are also fresh Russian media reports that another Leopard tank has been disabled and that some Germany operators have been captured, though these reports remain unverified. You kind of hears these little reports here via Twitter, saying there's German, soldiers in it. So, hey, that'd be interesting, to follow. We'll see what happens with that. It says Russia maintains firm hold over much of the east, has dug its positions, and established miles of deadly minefields. The New York Times agrees it is going to be difficult to advance even with the Abrams, right? Because you got the minefield; those are set up to what? Destroy tanks and other infantry, mobile ground units, man. So if they've already established, these areas with mines, hey, that the tanks ain't gonna be able to push through, or other ground troops. It says if they are simply sent to the front lines to try to punch through Russian defenses, General Budanov said last week in an interview with an American military blog, they will not live very long on the battlefield. They need to be used in those breakthrough operations, but very well prepared. The Pentagon had previously announced that the U.S. is committed to expedite delivery of the 31 tanks to Ukraine by the fall. By then, it could already become clear whether or not the U.S. Abrams will make any level of difference on the battlefield for Kiev. See, that's what's going on. Let's get a few scriptures, man, on it. But yeah, see, things are turning up, taking another notch, man. All right, these military tanks, man, they ain't cheap at all, man. If I'm not mistaken, they're a couple million a piece type deal, So we can look up that later, but yeah, let's go ahead and get some scriptures on this real quick. This is Matthew chapter 24, and yeah, I'll just go straight to the point. Matthew 24 and verse 6. Let's get it. Verse 3. Let's read that. Forget it from the top. Matthew 24:1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Right. Just like here in America, Babylon the Great, everything that you see, built up, all these houses and buildings, different structures, is going to be totally wiped out via thermonuclear destruction and the concentrated laser beams of the chariots. All right. And then other various parts, but we know that main deliverance and destruction is going to be here in America, Babylon the Great. All right, the chief place of Esau, even the so-called white man. Verse 3, and And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And who's a main culprit of deceiving people and coming as and putting themselves as the Most High or the Savior? Is really Esau, even the so-called white man, who has painted his image as the Savior. All right, so which mind screws the world to deceive that these are the real people of Yahweh Shem Shah, these Edomites, man. All right, but see, we can't be deceived by that. All right, so that's one of the major players in this world that is putting themselves as the Most High or as Yahweh Shah himself. All right, so you can't be deceived by that image, or these people that are in rulership, right? These people with this military power, quote unquote, which has nothing on the power of Yahweh Shem Shah, which, hey, he's the Lord of hosts, which is the what? Lord of armies, man. All right. Which this is all the plans and the ideas that the Lord has set up is all that, what they're doing out here, man. Verse 6, here's my true point. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So that's what we're hearing about. We're hearing about the wars, these little skirmishes and battles and the build up for what? World War III. All right, the third woe that it speaks of, right? For all these things, it says, see that ye be not troubled, right? The hopeful elect men of Yahweh Shem Shah and women shouldn't be in trouble, because what happened? What was it going to say? For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. See, these all have to come to pass. All these different battles. All right. Whole build up. All right. Slack on that. This whole build up onto World War III. All right, because Yahweh Shem Shah, hey, he's setting the stage right now. All the pieces are being moved on the board, and it's gonna come to pass. All right. But it said what? But the end is not yet. So it's not in just yet. But we getting there. We're like the apostles and elders been going into. Hey, we're months away from this thing. Totally being finished, man. We're at the end. All right. Rather be a few months, 36 months. We're in the months. Okay. It says, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and that's what's going on. All right. So, like we read in this article, man, they're planning to even put more military tanks in. All right, and then there's other deals going down too. More ammunition, more missiles. The next thing we'll be talking even more so is being nukes pushed up more on the borders. I mean, this is all being, like I said, the stage is being set. All right, for this major destruction. Okay. And then let me get second. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Let's start at verse 17. It says, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? This is the prophet Ezra, talking about destruction unto me. Who is going to deliver me in these days? Because he's seeing this vision of the end times, and it's horrible. Like the scriptures say, a time like never before. Jeremiah 30:7, and then you can also back it up with Daniel 12:1. That even Michael, the archangel, is going to have to step in for the children of Israel, the elect of the children of Israel, I might add. Okay. It's gonna be so bad that even him, this is the prophet Ezra, man. He's a man of the Lord, and he was like, oh my goodness, Verse 18. the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power